happened at halftime that, the second half was such a different looking team than the first?
Just execute it well.
What did you say to them at halftime?
Not a bunch, a little bit, but keep that in-house. That's certainly not the reason. I mean, execution plays a big part of football, and I thought they executed well.
You've seen Daniel do some good things last season. What you see what he did today, is that just another sign of him continuing to progress and what he can do?
Yeah, I thought he finished strong, played a really good second half. We had a couple things could have improved on in the first half, talked about those. But he's a resilient young man. I went out there and played well, along with, I'd say, a number of people.
Saquon got carted off for X-rays here.
Yeah, I don't know yet, guys. I don't know anything with injuries. Bredesen, I don't know. I think it was his head, but I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Ronnie or any of the medical staff yet.
Did you call plays in the second half?
Nope.
You didn't?
Nope.
Did you change anything about that process offensively, like how you and Mike were?
No, we always communicate like that. Yeah. So I always have a sheet with me. But Mike did a fantastic job. I communicate with Mike. I communicate with T-Mac. I communicate with Wink. So offensive staff did a good job. Moved the ball, scored points, did their job.
Given everything that you had to deal with, Andrew, and stuff during the game, penalties, is this as satisfying a win as you've had since you've been here?
I don't know. They're all satisfying. Every game is different. Every game you fight through some adversity. Tonight was, a good example of being resilient and playing the next play and focusing on the next series. And, they did their job in the second half. Thought we did a good job on third down. Hit some explosive or chunk plays. Made some timely stops at the end of the game. Made a game-winning field goal. Played much better, coached much better in the second half. And, you hope they don't, all start out 20-0. It was, we didn't do not good enough job in the first half, but fortunately, came out, executed well situationally. I think 4-4 in the red zone. Offensively, almost, 65% on third down. That usually gets you some points and made some big plays.
How much of a spark was that deep ball to high end? Was that a play specifically drew up to give you a spark?
Yeah, no, it's something we talked about coming out. We were, I'd say we were possessing, we were throwing some timely possessive passes, try to get the ball out, get in the balls or the hands of the playmakers. And then we just didn't convert enough third downs. And then we had one earlier. We had a chance at one earlier. Just didn't go to it. So, it was a good second half.
How much could you feel? I think your term last week was slippery slope. Could you feel that you created a slippery slope in the second half, like whatever momentum
for the other team? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm proud of how resilient the guys were, and they didn't focus on the scoreboard, and that's a hard thing to do. We're in a production business, and to focus on just doing your job. And I thought Hyde stepped up as a young rookie and made a couple nice plays for us. Slay, Waller, and then obviously Daniel. I thought the line for the young players, they did a heck of a job. Those young guys on the offensive line, and when you look at it, you got Ozudu, who didn't play much last year, is really like a rookie, and McKeithen, and Evan Neal had some, and then you got John Michael. And then the young corners, you got two rookie corners. So, those young players help contribute in a positive way, and we're going to need to, really all of us, keep getting better. It's good to get a win, make no mistake about it, but a lot to clean up and, in a short amount of time.
Brian, this is tied for the largest comeback in franchise history. You were staring 0-2 in the face. How much can a win like this mean for a team going forward?
I don't know. I've been involved in a lot of comebacks, some in the end of the year games where it's a lot to a little. I don't know. I really, Jordan. I really think that playing well and preparing. I mean, I know it's a broken record, but that's the truth in the National Football League. You can't take one week to the next. You can't
something those teams though have built on, the ones that you've been on that have had those kind of wins, and then it kind of propels you.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, we're in the second week of the season. The guys fought their way back. We got plenty to work on I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our coaches, but certainly a long way to go. But definitely good to get a win.
You said, the idea that, comebacks happen in this league, but to come back from 21 points, I would imagine at some point you start feeling, this isn't just a Hail Mary, that this is a possibility. Was there a moment for you in the second half that you felt the tide turning in your favor?
No, I just, again, you get into a rhythm a little bit, and that play helped, obviously, to Jalen. And then they went down and scored. But, I think just creating positive plays and execution and then finishing in the end zone for a team, it uplifts probably the entire team. But not one thing in specific, Art. Again, I thought that team played their tails off. Gritty group. And that runner he's a tough son of a gun. So, again, and then you get the interception off of Saquon's hand. They get going. Again, to be able to just keep competing, that's not always the easiest thing to do. But, we talked a little bit about it at halftime, made my point. And ultimately, it's the players that go out there and have to execute.
How close was Andrew to playing? And then can you just
Andrew?
explain just the O-line combination. Like, Zudu didn't get a lot of snaps to left tackle.
Yeah.
McKeithen has not played, really. So
Yeah, well, they've practiced the last few weeks. And that's what we see, Dan. I know you don't see it. But McKeithen did a good job all week. Zudu's been doing a good job at tackle. He's got quick feet. A lot to learn. I'm sure I can't give you an evaluation of them. I'm proud of the way they competed for 60 minutes all the way to the end. So we'll see. And Andrew, we'll see. He was, I'm not going to give a percentage of how close. He was better than he was. We just thought it was the right thing to do. Knowing that we play a game on Thursday, he practiced more than he did on Thursday. He practiced on Friday. He got some team reps, did some things like that. So it's a quick turnaround. We'll see where we're at. I'd say the same thing with Wandell. I know we'll talk a short amount of time here, but we'll see where we're at.
Daves, why were the first and second halves so starkly different?
Made some plays. I thought we pressed the ball a little bit down the field, which Danny did a great job, and the line did a great job of protecting. And, those players, whether it was Waller, Slayton, Hyatt, made some plays down the field, good reads. And we just stayed ahead of the chains, So anytime you can do that, that helps an offense. Too many penalties, rough start of the game. Plenty of stuff to work on, but the finish that these guys had, it was, it's good to get a win.
Two more. You said you made your point at half. Like what point?
Yeah, I'd just say it's, I don't know if necessarily was the point. I just said what I had to say, but it's really not. It's not about a halftime speech or a halftime adjustment. You do those things all the time. I think it's about, the will of the player. And, when you haven't scored a point in a game and a half and you come in at halftime, I'd say as a leader, there's a delicate balance between, focus on the next play and maybe a little extra. So, but again, all the credits goes to the players. I'd say to the play callers, the assistant coaches. It's good to get this win. We made it hard. I'll tell you that. We made it hard.
One more. You say, and maybe a little extra. You mean focusing on your confidence that they're going to come all the way back and win the game?
Yeah, just belief. But you could talk about it till you're blue in the face, Pat. Belief. It's got to happen. You have to see tangible results too. So. I think we have some mentally tough players on our team and coaches. It's not always easy to be mentally tough when you're, whatever it is, 60-0 after a game and a half. So there's encouragement. There is detail in what needs to get done. And, there's, I wouldn't say you scream and yell. I don't think that's the answer, but you definitely place an emphasis on what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. With confidence and sternness.
How did you maintain confidence at halftime that you were going to be able to do what you did in the second half?
I think we always remain confident and just kind of getting back to simple execution and trusting it, seeing it, and ripping it. We had some opportunities to make plays in the first half. We didn't do it, and I knew that they'd be there. I just had to execute, give our guys a chance to make those plays, and we did it and kind of built off of it going forward.
How have you evolved to the point where you have the confidence and the ability to get something like that done yourself? It's, in that situation, things look pretty dire.
I think, I think it was, I think we did a great job of, creating some of those opportunities and calling stuff, getting guys open. And guys did a really good job making plays and offensive line did a good job, really the whole game and especially there in that second half.
How important was the 58-yard pass to start the second half just to kind of get things going in the right direction?
Yeah, I think it was important. Big time play by Jalen there to make it, and then it gave us some confidence and momentum going forward.
When it's 20-0 at halftime after what happened last week, does it feel like the sky is falling? I mean, how do you kind of right yourself, quit looking at the scoreboard, and just try to go out there and produce?
I think it's just about it's about execution, and you can't really afford to think about any of that or get emotional or thinking about anything outside of what your job is, and that's to execute and focus on kind of one play at a time and being right there in that play and making sure you're taking advantage of it and making good decisions, giving guys chances to make plays, and that was my focus, and I thought we did that well as a team.
After your touchdown run gets called back, did you have to say anything to the team, now it's 3rd and 9, about kind of keeping it together?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we all kind of knew where it was and knew what the task at hand was, and we got a resilient, tough-minded group. So, we trust everyone to get back focused and know what they got to do to make the play.
You said there were some missed opportunities in the first half. Did you mean you personally felt like you did not make some plays that were there? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think there were some throws that I'd like to have back, and then a couple things I gotta see better and read out. So definitely look to improve those situations going forward.
How worrisome is it to see that happen to Saquon late in the game? He was a big part of the win, but obviously kind of some unknowns here now.
Yeah, always tough to see anyone go down, especially Saquon. He's a huge piece of what we're doing. He's an important player on the team. So, I know he'll work hard to get back, get through whatever he's going through. Look forward to having him back, as soon as possible.
How did Daboll handle halftime?
The same he always does. I think he definitely, preached kind of the urgency we needed and the importance of starting fast in the second half and taking advantage of some opportunities. But, he's consistent. He's that, fiery, passionate, same message he always gives, and guys took to it.
That's the score, and that's the result of what the first half was. If you want to do something about what that looks like, it takes one individual play at a time. It doesn't take looking at the scoreboard, it doesn't take looking at the clock or worrying about what went wrong. It's like if you handle individual plays, you'll put yourself back in the position because you're going to be doing things right. And that's the approach that we took, because a lot of times you can get distracted by saying, oh, man, we're in a jam. Like, we need a huge play. We need this, we need that, instead of just like going out there and just let's execute. Let's make something happen on the first drive. All right, let's continue that. Let's continue to sustain.
How much of a spark was that DJ throw to Hyatt? That right out of the box in the second half there, when 50 yards, whatever it was. How much of a spark was that? Because you had not really had anything to kind of build on in that first half, and it just seemed to kind of get you guys going a little bit. I got the Giant fans in the building, a little bit going, right?
Right, yeah, it's a huge spark at that point in the game, and it's like, playing in National Football League, you don't know when that spark may come. Of course, you want it to be earlier, but that was the opportunity for us in this game, and we took advantage of it, and that allowed us to build some momentum and sustain in drives. Because we're like, okay, like this is what we're used to. This is what we've been doing since April throughout this whole process. Like we know what we can do as an offense, and yeah, that definitely gets you going.
Darren, how difficult was it when Jones goes in for that touchdown and they call it back on a penalty, and now you guys have to regroup? The emotions must have been unbelievable. Yeah, man, that's the roller coaster of football, man, and it's like, it stings for a little bit in a second, but it's like, all right, I got to bring myself back to the middle because it's gonna be high plays like it was, and it's like it instantly went back to a low, like just dramatically, and it's like you got to be able to just take a deep breath, be like, damn, and then get back to the huddle and go to the next play. How important is Daniel Jones's leadership in the huddle when you guys are trying to come out of a huge crater like that? Big time, man. Just like I said, just the poise of it, because
like you talk about like the whole, like, yeah, it looks like that, but it's like it's keeping your focus off of what the results look like and more on what the process looks like, because it's a process to go from 20-0 to 20-7 to 20-14, like each and every stage. You can't look at the very end stage like, okay, how do we win this game? It's like, how do we win this play? How do we win this possession? And he's one of the main guys leading the charge behind that.
Players got to make the plays come to life and go, and I think we all understood that at halftime and got it going in the second half.
Slay, was there a moment in that second half where you started believing and saying, you know what, we are going to get this done?
Shoot, we came out the tunnel. We had the ball first. You know, it's like, as an offense, like, you got to start believing right there, because it's important to go down there and get a touchdown. And, you know, I think we did score right out of half, right? And we went down and got a touchdown. And then at that point, it's okay, we got a little momentum, and defense got to stop. And then from there, you're just putting points up.
Was there a point where you felt like we're just not going to lose this game?
Yeah, like I said, we came out of half, we got that first touchdown. It's like, all right. It's kind of like, you know, in basketball, and they say getting the lid off the rim. It's like, all right, we got in the end zone, and now it's time to go.
What changed, though, Darius, why the first half just wasn't like the way you wanted it to be, and then it just clicked?
I think we just were missing little things, just here and there, like little stuff in the run game, little stuff in the pass game, that in the second half we got going. And then obviously, you know, Jalen did a good job of getting us going, had the first big bomb. He made 2 big plays down the field, actually, that helps a lot, driving the ball. And, you know, I think that those 2 things helped us out a lot.
We don't know exactly what Barkley's injury is, but on the last drive, he wound up grinding out something like 30 yards to get you guys in field goal range. And, of course, you caught the pass that got the offense over the 50 in very, very critical spots.
Yeah, I mean, that was a heck of a run by Saquon. I mean, he's a special player. He showed it on that play. I don't know, he broke 5-6 tackles, something like that, and, you know, got us down there. And, you know, that's why we love him. I'm glad he's on this team.
You ever been part of a comeback like this, 21 points down mid-third quarter?
Yeah, I was just telling him, I don't know if I've ever been a 20-0 comeback ever, so that probably was the first for me.
So, Isaiah, you catch the tying touchdown pass with 4.5 minutes left. It seemed like the passing game really got going there in the second half, and you guys were able to cut them up and do what you wanted. What changed?
You know, I think we came together at halftime and we had more of a sense of urgency, and we realized that, you know, we were shooting ourselves in the foot, and, you know, we were moving the ball a lot, and it just came down to stupid little mistakes. So we came in at halftime, man, and we rallied together. You know, we got together. We said all the time in the offseason, spending time with each other, and the camaraderie, like, you find out about that now, you know, in the hard times. You don't find that out, you know, how close you are when you're up 30-0. You find it out when you're down. So, you know, it just shows how close of a team we have.
So I think a little birdie just told me this was a very special day for you and your family. Kind of nice to catch that pass in that situation.
Yeah. My son and my parents were right there in the end zone, so I was able to give the ball to my son, and it was his birthday. So it's definitely a birthday for him to remember. I mean, he won't know it now, but he'll look back on it, and it will be a cool moment. So.
That's a great celebration. What is it about Daniel Jones that allows him to control the huddle and continue fighting and bringing you guys back like he did?
Yeah, I think just his calmness and his poise, you know, just his confidence in himself. And you only act like that when you're confident. You know, you can't be poised and sit there and leading a team if you're not confident in yourself. And, you know, he's confident because he prepares his ass off. And throughout the whole week, you know, he's one of the hardest workers. He sits there and he's making sure the wide receivers are on the same page as him. So, you know, when we get that look and, like, on that touchdown, he literally looked at me before and was like, be ready. Like, he knew, like, it was coming. So, you know, like, that's just how prepared he is. So.
Sometimes we talk about momentum as being a real thing. Sometimes we don't. The crowd was going crazy. It seemed like when you guys were coming back, they were sparking you. So how did that play into the final drive that won it?
Man, that played into it greatly. I mean, Giants fans travel crazy, you know, and I mean, that was one of my better experiences, just witnessing how deep they travel. And I was just surprised, like, even pregame, to see how many Giants fans were out there. So, I mean, salute to them and all the loyal fans out there, and they definitely helped us.
Isaiah Hodgins, thanks for your time. Congrats.
Appreciate it. Thank you.